Father God, it's in the name of Jesus. We come to you again saying thank you, Lord. Thank you for this win, Lord God. We ask you for your traveling grace as we go to our various destinations and continue to get better. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Rolex wear. We win. Limousine ride. Good. I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Give me 2 claps in the Ric Flair.
I think this year's men's Jaguars basketball team had a lot of depth to it. I think having a bench that could come off and contribute to the games helped in the team's success. Obviously, they brought in some new starters and some new talent. And the rookies that came in, the junior college transfers, had a lot to do with the team's success. So overall, they were a much more balanced team with a lot more scoring options than they had in the past.
This season was a great improvement from last season because last season we were 11-19, 11th in the conference, didn't even make the conference tournament. And then we ended up changing that up, turning around, be first place in conference, winning the conference tournament, and just turning the entire program around.
Just because the past really, they didn't really had like a few people coming back and not many wins. And we just really surprised everybody with a whole new lineup, a lot of JUCO transfers, come give us some W's.
Well, and again, it's no disrespect to the other 14 teams, the other 13 teams in our conference. They went on last year. They went on the fact that we lost Tori Oliver, who was a great basketball player for us, and they felt that all we had coming back this year was Jalen Miller. So they didn't know how well my coaches did as far as recruiting some athletes that make Jalen Miller a compliment and just not a focal point. So I tried to give them a hint, but they wouldn't take it. So ranking us 11th was probably what they felt we should have been based on what they looked at last year. But obviously that's not how it turned out.
I think that's what gave us the edge. That's what got us so far, just knowing that nobody want to see you win. So you got to fight that much harder to prove to them that y'all got it. Y'all at the top spot.
I think we were considered underdogs because teams didn't know the type of firepower we had with new additions like Dave, Shane, Robbie, Justin stepped his game up, Travis. It was just a lot of people that came in and contributed along with the person that they already knew, which was me. And I think we caught a lot of people by surprise, and when they became ready for us, we fought through adversity.
What a great staff I've had this year. We get a mixture of Coach V, who's probably one of the top recruiters in the country. He's coached at the Division I level and recruited Division I level. Coach Richardson, who did a great job at Olive Harvey with the X's and O's. Coach Cook, who's done a wonderful job coaching at the high school and grammar school level. And Coach Ramelli, my associate head basketball coach, who was with me at St. Xavier. Just a bright, great young mind, and he's going to do some great things here. So that's what makes up our staff, and without them, I know I wouldn't be successful, or we wouldn't be successful as a program.
Each coach brings something different. Like, they all have their own experiences and what they went through in the past by coaching or playing. So 1 through 5, from head coach Bates to all our assistants, they all bring something valuable and unique that we all need.
I think everyone on the coaching staff has done a great job of this year of recruiting and coaching throughout the games and practices.
It's like you can go to any one of them about anything about your game, and it'll really help you be better and focus on what you got to do. So every one of them got their own personality, really. So it's like you can't compare them to one each other, but they all different in a kind of way. So I really love that they all different, not like the same person, so they could really tell you different perspectives of your game.
They there to help you, talk to you. They're almost more like father figures than coaches.
really want to kind of slow him down and try and throw him off a little bit.
Oh
Miller
my
inside
gosh,
with a
the
nice
spin
little up and
move
under.
over the defender, and then he said, whoop, there it is.
Jalen Miller came to us after playing one season at Prairie State, and he came with a hunger of wanting to be a better basketball player and also, just be a more mature young man. Last year, Jalen was pretty disappointed in the fact that he was just honorable mention in the CCAC conference. He felt he put up the numbers to be a first-team all-conference guy. We sat down after season. Jalen put down his goals and ambitions for this upcoming season, which was to be first-team all-conference. Jalen worked tremendously hard with his ball handling and shooting, and came back this year and just had a phenomenal year. And not only did he make the first conference, he was the conference player of the year and second-team All-American. So what a jump from being an honorable mention to being a player of the year. It's just incredible.
Jalen Miller has been the go-to person on this team this year. He's been looked upon as a team leader, the team captain. So he provided a lot of the leadership that the team needed, helped integrate the young players with the veterans on the team, and helped make sure that the ball was being distributed properly. He was also the person that when the games came down to the last seconds, he was the person who was willing to take that shot, to take on that responsibility. So I think he brought a maturity level to the team with his leadership skills, and I think he was very well respected by his teammates, which was also very important.
And you see Storm Cook with 22 points. He's 8 of 11 shooting, 4 or 5 from downtown. So still doing a great job breaking up the Jaguar defense. Maple for three is good. Shane Maple.
Did you see
Coach
him?
Bates was looking for a foul there.
Shane Maple came out of a great program at the junior college level. We were on him early and often, and we just told Shane, hey, look, we're struggling right now. We got a great recruiting class coming in, and hopefully you'll be a part of that. Shane moved from being a two guard to a point guard. And for those who know anything about basketball, that's a hard transition. To be able to lead the team from a point guard position when you're used to getting a lot of shots was a humbling experience for him, but it also helped his game overall. So without him, I know we wouldn't be where we're at today.
I look at him as though he was the most underrated player on the team. He kind of flew under the radar for most of the season. And then as we got towards the tail end, the stretch run of the regular season, you could see that Shane became more of an offensive leader from the backcourt position. I think he was more aggressive offensively towards the tail end of the season. He became a very reliable three-point shooter, and he was always solid defensively. So he definitely grew as a player throughout the season and didn't mind being in the background while other players got a lot more points or got a lot more of the publicity. But he was always there to step up when he was needed.
Shane, he's just a cool, mellow dude. It's rare that you see him rattled. It's rare that you see him upset. He was that stable, consistent force for us at the point guard position. And he never played point guard prior to this year, but you wouldn't be able to tell after this season. He was extremely efficient, and he did a great job.
Absence for 6 games, but does a great job of filling in off the bench, and an early bucket by Robbie Brooks inside.
Robbie Brooks came to us from Joliet Junior College, led his team in scoring, so his overall game was a very compliment to what we tried to do this year, and everything just pretty much clicked for him.
Robbie Brooks was an impact player as a incoming junior. As a new player, he found his role very quickly. Has incredible vertical leap, very athletic, very shifty, is not afraid to drive in the paint, to go hard towards the basket. And he's one of those players sometimes when you think he might not be having a very good game, and then you look at the final stat sheet and you see he has 24 points. So a very reliable shooter, a three-point threat as well, and he definitely was a shooting guard that this team needed.
Talk about the impact Robbie Brooks had on this team this year.
Who?
Robbie Brooks.
Never heard of him.
Robbie Brooks brought toughness and just a killer attitude. You wouldn't know it by first looking at him, but he's one of the toughest people on the court, and he'll let you know with his game, and he'll talk a little bit of trash. Robbie's just a pure scorer, and he looks to get buckets, and he does a good job at it.
Maple drives, kicks it to Seork. Seork for 3 is good. just what the Jaguars needed right there.
Listen, Justin came out of high school, and I sat down with Justin and his family, and I said, Justin, look, I'm from a little small school at GSU, and if you're about building something, please consider us. If you're about following some tradition, Justin, I don't have that for you. But I can guarantee you two things. First of all, you're going to get a quality education at Governor State University. And second of all, you're going to be part of a winning program before you graduate. Considering the fact that Justin's only a sophomore now, that the second part of that came a little quicker than maybe a lot of people expected.
Just that three-point threat. As my boy here, Chopper from out there, sniper every time.
Justin Seork really improved his game from his freshman season. I think he felt more comfortable in the offense this year. He became basically the #1 person from behind the three-point line, and I think he embraced that challenge. And there were times when he would not miss from that distance. So I think his confidence grew over the season, and as he became recognized as our top three-point threat, I think he really embraced that role and really took to it.
Get it back with a 2-point lead now.
Nice pick by Anderson.
Maple gets it to Anderson.
And
Down
the
low,
dunk
he
is
throws
good.
it
He
down.
flushed the
A nice
toilet.
find by Maple to
Beautiful
find Anderson
big man
cutting.
dunk.
David Anderson is he's a Division I talent from an athletic standpoint. So David brings the intensity that we need on the boards. He actually led the country in block shots this year. We're looking forward to him giving us even more next year going into his senior season.
It's too much to say about Dave, but he's the most athletic person in the conference, in the NAIA. He really not even supposed to be here. I don't know how he got here, but having Dave, that's something special, and that really brought it. That's an X factor for us.
Ride for three. Good. Ties this game up. Assist by Miller.
Listen, Travis is the kid that I love some days, and some days I don't like as much. But I'm just kidding. I love him every day. Travis is a gambler. He'll do something great. He'll also do something that's going to make you scratch your head. But overall, what Travis is going to give me is 110%, and that's all I ever asked from him. And he's come in and get us a spark plug off the bench, make a couple threes, get a couple steals. But again, Travis is going to be Travis, and we welcome that.
Travis got that's J.R. Smith, I like to call him. He got that energy, 3-ball. You don't never know when he's going to come out high. When he do it, he coming.
Travis McBride brought a lot of energy to the team, very good defensively, came off the bench and provided a spark defensively for the team. He also was a very streaky shooter, and there were times when he was knocking down a lot of three-pointers as well. So very much a team player, a great cheerleader for the team, someone who worked very hard and really provided a spark when the team needed it off the bench.
The regular season went well. We beat Graceland in our classic tournament that we play in here at GSU, which they actually went on and won the national tournament on the NEI Division I side. We went down and played them again in Iowa at a tournament, and they took us to the backyard and beat us pretty bad. So coming out of that loss, we said to ourselves, we got to get better. Here's a team that we beat a couple of weeks ago now that's came back and beat us. So after then, I think we won 17 out of 18 basketball games to really go on a nice run, and understood that every game was a game we had to take seriously, no matter what the opponent record was. We had to come out and play our style of basketball, and we were able to do that successfully this season.
The men's basketball team definitely established home dominance and finished with a 12-game winning streak at home. So I think the fans recognized that when they came to watch the Jaguars play, it was most likely going to be a victory. And it was a change of pace from last year when the team lost so many close games at home. A lot of heartbreaking losses last year, and I think the team probably learned from that and grew from that. And this year, they did not lose to a conference opponent at home. So in order to really become a championship level team, you need to establish a home court advantage first, and they were able to do that.
GSU finished the season with a home record of 16-2, and after dominating their opponents throughout the regular season, they look to carry that same momentum heading into Game 1 of the CCAC Conference Tournament against Olivet.
All right, hello, welcome back here to the Arc, located here at Governor State University Park in University Park, Illinois. I'm Casey Domke, along here with my broadcasting colleague Nakia Driver, bringing you the CCAC playoff action.
They were playing Olivet Nazarene, and Olivet Nazarene is a very established program in the conference, a lot of tradition, and GSU is trying to beat Olivet Nazarene for the third straight time in a year, which is a very difficult thing to do against any opponent. And GSU came out and from the start really took it to Olivet Nazarene, and I think you could sense that this was a very important goal for GSU to try to win the conference tournament. They came out and were aggressive from the start, and that just carried out throughout the whole tournament.
Game 1 against Olivet, I took that pretty personally. One, because it was our very first playoff game ever here at GSU, and second, because I knew they had a great player on the other side, and that game I wanted to prove that not only do we have the better team, but I wanted to prove that I was the better player.
That game I started off hot, and then the refs, I felt like they was trying to, felt like 5-on-8. I didn't like how they was coming. They gave me a tech. I felt like they was on our case a little bit too much, so that just made that game that much fun and that much more important.
Game 1 of Olivet, this is a tough team. They always play us super tough. At the beginning of the season, they had, their announcer was telling us how we had a lot of JUCO players and we're not a close team. We don't have any chemistry. And we ended up beating them 3 times during the season. But that game, the game before that, their coach was saying that, that Roosevelt's a better team than us and that we don't deserve to be in the spot we're in. So that gave us a lot of motivation going into that game that we had to beat them, and we came out with the win.
They came out and gave us their best punch, but us being as close as we is as a team and all this talent on this team, we just ended up pushing through it, even though they had the refs helping them on their side.
Oh my gosh, and he almost broke his ankle
Takes it all the way for the easy lay-in.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, the spin move over the defender, and then he said, whoop, there it is.
9.5 to go in the game.
Oh my gosh.
Maple, good.
Oh my gosh.
Tried to draw the foul there. 4-point play happened.
Oh my gosh.
Right back. Does a great job with that Maple right back left. Shane Maple drives, and he takes it all the way. Gets it to go. Timeout taken by Coach Bates, so a great back out to Miller. Miller for 3 is no good. This is short. Maple on the putback is good.
And the
Timeout by
foul
Coach
goes
Bates.
crazy.
A great job by Shane Maple being in the right place at the right time, coming away with that offensive rebound and getting the putback to go to give that Jaguar. The Jaguars a 2-possession, make it a 2-possession game. Drives, takes it to Stewart. Stewart for 3.
And he
In and out, rebound by Miller though. He goes up, draws the foul, and gets it to go. Jalen Miller, a big play by Jalen Miller. That's gonna do it here at the Arc. The Hail Mary half-court shot, no good. And the Jaguars come out on top for their first playoff win in school history. They will move on to the second round of the CCAC tournament and either take on Calumet St. Joe's or Holy Cross. Hopefully we'll get an update on that. And
Holy Cross came with a certain physicality that sometimes gives us trouble because we're more of a finesse basketball team. But we were able to combat it with bringing a couple more of our bigs and being a little bit more physical on the inside. And we happened to shoot the ball pretty well. So we were able to overcome Holy Cross as well. But again, another team that we had to see again that we've already beaten during the regular season. And those are always tough because the teams feel they have something to prove. And we were able to overcome that second game.
It was a tough game too, I think, because during the year we played them and it was a tough game. So then played them again, trying to make some changes, but we ended up pulling that one out too.
First half we played good. Second half we actually didn't. So in the locker room, coach had told us basically don't come out there sluggish or whatever, or they're gonna come jump on us. And they actually did. So we had to wake up really and just get back into what we do best: passing the ball, fast breaks, creating turnovers. So game 2, that's what really game 2 was about.
Kicks it out to Brooks. Brooks kicks it out to Maple.
Maple.
Top,
Maple
who
pulls
goes
up
up for
over
three.
the
It's
defender.
good. Shane Maple. Good find by
Load
Brooks.
the chopper and let it rain on Saint.
Able to score, just unable to get the defense
Anderson with
going.
a nice jump over the defender is good.
Maple, though, he'll dish it off to Murray. Murray goes up and is fouled, and that ties the game up at 49. Murray with a chance to give the Jaguars a lead once again. An opportunity. Stewart for 3. Yes, Justin Stewart gives the Jaguars a 1-point lead once again. So back at Storm Cook with 22 points. He's 8 of 11 shooting, 4 of 5 from downtown. Still doing a great job breaking up the Jaguar defense. Maple for 3 is good. Shane Maple.
Did you see
Coach Bates was looking for a foul there. 25 on the shot clock, 7:10 left the game. Brooks drives. Floater, good. A lot of contact there, no foul. And an open lane.
Miller
the
down to
Jaguars.
Maple. Goes to work.
Easy lay-in. Good find by Miller to find Maple cutting. 3 by Jimenez is good over the defender. Miller back into the game with 4 fouls. He takes it and gets the reverse to go. Jalen Miller. Ball thrown to Stewart. Stewart takes, pulls up for 3. It's good. Justin Stewart for 3. 76-68 with a minute left. Jaguars lead. And the Jaguars are going to be playing the Roosevelt Lakers in the CCAC championship game on Monday.
The championship game was very electric. I think it will go down as a day that a lot of people on campus will remember in GSU athletics. A chance to win the conference tournament on your home court in front of a packed house where you have to actually turn spectators away because you're at seating capacity. It was the most electrifying atmosphere we've had in the gymnasium, and I think it showed the potential, and I think it also showed just how important our fans are to the team's success. To have that kind of support at home was tremendous, and I feel like the players really fed off the energy of the crowd in that game. Roosevelt came in, they were ranked as well, so you had 2 top 25 ranked teams playing against each other. Both encounters earlier in the season between the two teams had been very close and very competitive, and that championship game did not disappoint. It came down to the wire. And to see the expressions on the faces of the players and the coaches and how much it meant to them was truly a remarkable experience to go through.
We just had to show who's who. And I think our will and our drive and the fact that we felt that we let one get away at their place really put us in a situation where we wanted to not just win the conference, but also win the conference tournament. And that was a great moment for GSU athletics and our basketball players.
I was extremely confident coming into that game. Everything just felt right. I knew if we made it to the championship, I didn't think we would lose, not here at GSU. And I was extremely confident in our team. I knew our team was hyped, and I knew that we really wanted it. And I'm just glad we went out and got it.
They beat us the game before when we played them, and then we just had to come through and make some changes, and it was a fight all game to win. The whole crowd was into it. It was a great game.
I wanted just to play them because I was out with an injury. Second game we had lost, and I feel like I could have helped us win, so that game was kind of personal for me.
Championship game, that was that. I mean, we had to come out and prove why we're the best team in the conference. I mean, Roosevelt was doing a lot of talking. They've been good all season. We've been good all season, and that was the game to show who was out top. and who's going to be on top for the next season, next years to come.
Game 3 was everything. The energy in the building. My whole family was there. All the guys' whole family was there. It's basically the energy in the building. It's just a championship atmosphere. Everything felt good that day, from me waking up to going to sleep that night. It was just everything. That game was just one of the best games of my life.
Championship game, we brought in the most fans, I think about 500-600 fans. That was crazy. Atmosphere was wild. Felt like the fans right next to. And that's exactly how I wanted to go. I wanted to be close all game, and I didn't want nobody to, you ain't gonna know who was winning till the last couple of minutes.
You know, I'm gonna call they're gonna run that play where they get the ball to Shork in the corner. They're gonna get it to him for the 3. And they're gonna go up 10 at half here. Maybe not. Maybe Miller takes it.
No,
Shork
you
in the
called
corner
it.
for 3.
And a Trayvon on display. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. 39 to 29. Jaguars are up by 10. I'm getting ready to go put on a halftime show. I'll see you soon.
Justin, the Lakers, I believe they're 9-3 at home or on the road.
You see the floater coming from Brooks.
Off the bench, the starters, Anderson.
Air Jordan. I had to call it Air Jordan instead of Air Anderson because
Anderson to the long two on the baseline. Good.
Something that you really don't see from Anderson. I mean, it's Fields Day.
Easy laying in the pass. Great. Good keeping.
You called it.
Gets it to
An
go.
easy basket over the defender. Snatched him out the game after that one.
Drive by Maple. Gets it to go. Contact to Robbie. Great drive. By Maple.
Drive by Shake.
Gets it to go. Jaguars come up with a nice defensive stop and a basket and a foul. Good by Adam Alexander. So he'll go to line with an opportunity to 3-point play. You don't need. Ludwig on the reverse layup is good. And we had a 6-point ball game with just about 4.5 to go in this game. 6 on the shot clock. Miller drives, takes it all the way, and a strong finish by Jalen Miller to give him a 10-point lead. Stuff going on here at the arc. You see Jaguars taking out their starters. 10.7 seconds left. Most likely we'll just see a shot clock violation. Oh, they're going to put 4 seconds on the shot clock. 16-2 home record, and that'll do it here at the Arc. Your GSU Jaguars are the CCAC Conference champions in only 3 years or 2 years being in the conference. And what a way to be able to send off Jalen Miller. You see the emotions that are being shown, and I don't blame them. You can't really hold those back.
Man, that was my first time cutting down the net, so that was surreal for me, and I got a couple pictures, and I plan to go print them out, make them big posters for my room or something.
I feel great. It's like we in history. Like we the first school, the first team to ever do it, so it's a great feeling.
Felt, just amazing. We made history, always be remembered here. Something I'll never forget ever in my life.
It felt amazing. It was extremely validating because from the jump, I thought we was the best team in the conference. And throughout the entire season, you would hear comments from coaches or players that we weren't. And I'm glad that we put all that to rest, that we were the champs, and that's that.
It felt fantastic. You think back to the first day of practice, even before then, you think back to all the days we run and lift weights and just have a dream. Every team goes into the season with a dream. And the fact that we were able to accomplish our dream, it's overwhelming. And it was just a great experience for us, and hopefully we'll be able to feel that way again next season. Everyone in the country starts 0-0. So we just got to go in and, again, have this in our back as a memory of something that we did in the past, but we can't take that into next season. Because if you do, you're going to have trouble. Because everyone starts 0-0 next year. So we have to go in with the mindset that we're not very good. We have to get better. And teams are going to look at us a little differently. So it's going to be a tougher struggle, understanding we had success this year. But as a staff and as a program, we welcome that.
I think next year, GSU will not be able to surprise anybody. I think that the schools around the CCAC now know what GSU is capable of, and I think they should be one of the favorites coming into next season. And with that comes a different set of challenges to be faced. Everyone brings your A game when you're the defending champions. And so you have to play every night as though it's a championship or playoff game, basically.
Next season will be a tough road ahead for this basketball team. But with the right attitude and work ethic, they can find themselves in the same position next year. This is a very confident group, and Justin Cioric and Shane Maple have one final message for all of their opponents going into next season.
We're on top now, we're going to be on top for the next 2 years to come.
All I got to say, we coming. That's it, we coming.
It's going to be tough seeing Jamal Murray, Jalen Magruder, Willie Lipsy, and Jalen Miller not on a team next year, as they will be graduating with their degrees soon. But Jalen wants to leave one final message for his teammates going into next season.
Going into next season, first of all, make sure you're prepared. Off-season starts 2 weeks ago, so put in that work. And remember, everything you do is as a team. You gotta work as a team, you gotta continue to be brothers, and work hard. I believe in you guys, and you guys can do it.
Regardless of what happens next year, in the years to come, this is a season the players, the coaching staff, and all of their families will never forget. This is a brotherhood. This is a family. But most importantly, this is history.